Hi everyone, welcome back to Iroko Critic.
Critics with receipts.
I'm Mrs. Critic.
And I'm Mr. Critic.
And today we're going to be taking a blast to the past.
Not that far.
Too recent.
We will be talking briefly about two films that happen to be produced by the same company, Nollywood Factory Production, and written and directed by the same man.
Hello, my name is Obi Emelonye.
I'm just going to say Mr. Obi. These movies were made 1 year apart, and oh my goodness, we thank God for growth.
These films are starring two of our Nollywood queens, but let's start with the not good one.
You can say bad.
Let's start with the not good one.
It's so bad.
First up, it's The Mirror Boy. So this film is about a troubled young man who experienced racism, and then his mom gets work in the Gambia and they are unfortunately separated.
I need a police station. I can't find
Police station. Okay, we'll go to police station there.
She's a negligent babe.
They are separated, but the boy is found by an enigmatic spirit who takes him on an adventure that could alter his destiny.
Okay, chill. Your narration is making this movie sweet. Let me narrate this film appropriately. A Gambian mother who is tired of her son fighting and being terrible at acting.
My mom won't listen. She's just angry. She's always angry.
Shut up.
Takes him to Gambia to abandon him there, but has a change of heart, and the boy leaves her to join Popo, who has clearly been sucking the top of a black beak pen as they go on the most boring adventure in Gambia to maybe involve crocodiles. As someone who has criticized Genevieve previously for her acting, there wasn't a range of emotions for anybody. Even Genevieve, a lot of her expressions were just stoic. It was refreshing to watch a film with her showing emotions on her face, instead of that stoic stuff from LionHeart. I know some of you guys like that movie.
Like me!
Anyway, this is not a LionHeart critique.
The costumes and makeup were interesting from someone who isn't familiar with Gambian culture, but it was nice to see something different.
Movie was able to shoot on two different locations, the UK and Gambia. I'm not sure they needed to, but let's just give them this one.
This movie isn't a cash grab. Someone did try to tell an African story. He was just not qualified to tell this particular story, it seems. The acting is bad.
She's always angry.
The editing is bad.
The directing is also bad.
The dialogue is not actually terrible. I'm joking, it's bad.
If you ain't gonna help, I'll find someone else.
Oh, you want to beat me up?
The score is inappropriate and bad. Overall, this movie was a big deal at the time. It premiered in Leicester Square in the UK, and it meant a lot to people back then.
And this is obviously the biggest premiere I have ever attended.
Maybe it has a place in Nollywood history books for that, and it still looks like Gambians are happy to be represented. I know how that feels. So don't let me tell you how bad this movie is. Like it with your chest. We all have our weaknesses.
Here's mine.
She really does know how to piece me out.
Up next, we have Last Flight to Abuja, which is Mr. Obi's second bite of the cherry in as many years, and it is a much improved one.
It is a series of stories about the lives of the passengers who are to board flight 212 to Abuja. And note that, because it really is mostly that. There is a crash and we'll come to that, but the movie is mostly about the drama and non-drama in these people's lives. There are some good performances from a few main characters which keeps you invested.
I thought I would come surprise my sick fiance, but I can see you're already getting some medication.
The script is certainly ambitious, and it does well given the complexity of the narrative. You essentially have one event, the plane crash, tying several characters, and it shuttles back and forth in time. The simplicity of the concept makes it easy to differentiate the past and the present.
The cinematography is equally ambitious in its storytelling and helps to create this feeling of tension during the plane crash scenes. And I have to mention the picture quality still looks great 9 years later.
The legendary Ari Alexa that shot great films like The Avengers.
The editing is good as it uses montages to trim the excess, where a lot of Nigerian films would overstay their welcome.
The film is decently researched too.
I repeat, we need parents for emergency landing.
Some of the dialogue is really interesting. It's rare that you get lost in a conversation in a Nigerian film, and I think it happens at least twice in this film.
I've called my girlfriend. We'll watch some Titanic, drink some wine, listen to Sade, bitch about men.
Oh, and you know our fave.
You know it by now.
Come on, say it with us.
Get out of our house.
There are some not great performances, but they're not usually the main characters.
And okay, here's the one that seems to trigger people. The effects are unconvincing.
You can say they're bad.
People online are brutal about this.
And it didn't look good at all. It was very distracting. I was frustrated.
But this was made 8 years ago. I wouldn't mind people calling out the effects, but honestly, I haven't seen anything we've done on this scale that is better than this. If you know of any, let us know in the comments. But why don't we keep the same energy for these movies?
I have a feeling I know why. Because of the title and perhaps the trailer, people's expectations were that this movie is about the plane crash. And it honestly isn't. I mean, objectively, the plane crash takes 15 out of 75 minutes in this film, and the bad effects are like 5 minutes of those 15. We're not saying you shouldn't bash a movie, we love a good but fair bashing here. But it seems people ignored some of the good qualities about the film. It's possible you watched it and you didn't like the story structure and everything else. That's okay. But let's try to be fair.
Overall, this is certainly one we would recommend, with the caveat that if you're looking for a film with one single dramatic story, this film probably isn't for you. But if you want to see Nollywood attempt something grand, both in the art and the science of filmmaking, this is as good as it comes. I know that's a bold claim, but there's a reason it's in the Iroko Critic Hall of Fame. We would fully recommend.
They're both streaming on Netflix, but also kind of on YouTube. Don't tell anybody we told you. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you next Sunday. Bye bye.
Bye bye.